Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the critically acclaimed director Christopher Belling, and I would like to welcome you to my show. I must ask that you turn off your mobile devices and refrain from using any sort of flash photography during the performance. I'm also required to warn you that my cast will be using a starter pistol in tonight's performance. So, don't be scared, you nitwits. I would tell you when, but that would ruin the surprise. In the unlikely event of an emergency, find the nearest exit, let the director go first, and then retreat after me. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy Robin Hood, a new American Western musical.
gunslinger was gonna save the day.
No, Robin Hood got put in jail for stealing money from the railroad tycoons and giving the money back to the farmers.
What do you say to that, Madam Marion?
Would you like us to hold our horses 1 second?
Hold your horses 1 second. I see someone taking aim at this here target.
But he can't win. There's already a bullet smack dab in the middle of the bullseye.
Why, he shot that other bullet in half.
No, not quite yet.
Why, he shot that other bullet in half. Look, it's Rob Hood. Why, I wonder what face belongs to those lips I belong to. A kiss.
This face.
Oh, why, you're Alan O'Dell, that friendly lawman from the East I was so crazy about. I thought you were all done with us.
Not when I finally found myself a home. A place where I truly belong. Keeping company to the people I love the most.
You came to us as a stranger. Rid this place of crime and gave us a new hope in ourselves. That's gonna be one tough act to follow.
Well, how's this? Will you be my lawfully wedded wife, Miss Nancy?
Oh, yes, I will!
Ding dong, ding dong. Ding dong, ding dong. Wide open spaces, everywhere I look I see those wide open spaces where the future waits for you and me.
It's Kansas forever.
And wherever I may roam, I see those wide open spaces and know that Kansas is home. Kansas, USA. Yeah!
Put me down! Put me down! Ugh! Get out of my way! This whole night was shambles. I don't know what I'm doing in this show.
So I noticed.
And there was some girl in the front row waving her hands at me all night. It was so distracting.
That was the conductor.
Wide open spaces, everywhere I look I see those wide open spaces where the future waits for you and me.
It's Kansas forever!
And wherever I may roam, I see those wide open spaces and know that Kansas is home. Kansas, USA. Yeah!
Shall I call the doctor? No, Boston Hospital's just down the block. It's okay, she's still got a pulse.
That's the first time she's ever kept the beach.
Bobby Ross, can you help carry her?
Why not? I've been carrying her all night.
Oh my God!
Holy Mother in Heaven.
Holy shit!
What, the reviews aren't good? What don't they like?
That we put on a show?
The Boston Globe says if you loved Oklahoma, stay there as long as Robin Hood is running in Boston.
How about call some mind Walt Disney's Pinocchio? Because its star is wooden, ought to be hung by a piano wire and swallowed by the first whale that enters Boston Harbor.
Who said that?
The Christian Science Monitor.
You're the producer, Carmen. I sunk last year's 1958 lingerie line into this show. There's gotta be something in the papers we can use.
Let me confer with the writing team. Aaron, Georgia, does debacle have two meanings?
No.
What a shame. Critics! Who'd want to make a living by killing other people's dreams? I mean, what kind of man would take a job like that?
What kind of slob would take a job like that?
Who could be mean enough, base and obscene enough to take a job like that?
Wait a minute, Carmen, here's something in the Herald that might be good.
Formerly married composer and lyricist Georgia Hendricks and Aaron Fox have provided film star Jessica Cranshaw with a star vehicle that ought to be driven off a cliff.
What kind of mom would raise her boy like that?
Who'd want her baby to destroy like that? Who
could be jerk enough, hard up for work enough, to want a job like that? Oh, what kind of low-down, dirty bum? Oh, what kind of swinish, scurvy scum? Loathsome as they come, I wonder.
What kind of man would want a job like that?
What kind of punch would squeeze a nuts like that? Who could be prick enough, mentally sick enough?
Who'd want to grow to be everyone's enemy? Critics are hated and so excoriated. Tell me what kind of man would want a job like?
Hey, get a load of this. The Cambridge Patriot says, considering the talent and experience of the veterans involved, Robin Hood is sure to be a huge Broadway.
Smash.
What kind of genius has a mind like that? So perspicacious, wise and kind like that?
Far from his mother's knee, she must be thrilled to see how he grew up to be such brilliant company. Refined and reflective, we're completely objective, but it lifts up your heart to meet a man like that.
That's all well and good, but the Cambridge Patriot is not the Boston Globe. The Globe is the review we needed.
Funny, none of them mentioned Jessica Cranshaw fainting.
She fainted during the bows when the critics dash out of the theater to dash off their post-mortems. Face it, we've gotten our notices and we've been given notice.
I'm afraid you're right.
No, you two are just oversensitive because you wrote the show. This is just round one. The first show my husband and I produced was Savaged Out of Town, but we rolled up our sleeves, did a major rewrite, and took that show to Broadway. And that show was Singing in the Shower. It closed before the audience opened their playbills, but the point is, this is a Sid and Carmen Bernstein production. We decide if it goes to New York, not Daryl Grady of the Boston Globe.
So we're still shooting for Broadway.
Yup. Aaron, Georgia, you keep writing tunes that bounce. And Oscar, you keep writing checks that don't.
Very nice, but until our leading lady gets out of the hospital, who knows what happens next?
Oh, they just have her under observation. I'm sure she'll be out by the morning.
Is there no limit?
Sounds like our director.
Is there no limit?
He got such horrendous reviews.
Is there no limit, I ask you, to my unbridled brilliance?
Chris, where the hell were you tonight? I sunk a lot of money into this show, and as our director, you owed all of us.
Oh, be still your foolish mouth. One is not to be gleaned by watching one's own show with a fraudulent audience of an opening night. I went for a walk, passed by the Cathedral of the Holy Cross, went in, wildly spiritual, I tell you, those Catholics really know how to put on a show. And then, right there, in the middle of the Eucharist, I had an epiphany. At this stage in the life of any musical, one should refrain from adding anything brilliant, but rather eliminate all that is god-awful. Now, what I ask without fear of contradiction is the most god-awful part of our show. Jessica, of course. Carmen, I came here to convince you to get rid of our star, only to have the cast inform me she's in the hospital. I see the hand of the Lord in this.
Mrs. Bernstein, there's a phone call for you in your office.
Thanks, JoAnne. It's probably my husband calling.
And where was Sydney tonight, Carmen?
In New York, nailing a theater, and knowing my husband, probably nailing a soprano who can't dance but knows how to move.
At least you can joke about it.
It's easy to joke about marriage when men like you and Sydney don't take it seriously.
There's no comparison. I never did more than flirt with any woman in any cast since you and I got married.
Barbara O'Brien?
She was an usher. And besides, that was only after you moved out.
Oh, so you finally looked up from your music and you noticed I was gone.
JoAnne, you're the stage manager. How's the cast taking the reviews?
They decided to dress to the nines and throw a combination opening and closing night party.
Defeatist, the lot of you. You've yet to hear my plan of action, but hear it ye shall. JoAnne, come, help me watch you find the sheet music that I need.
What plan? You think he wants to go to Broadway using an understudy?
Well, at least we'd still have Bobby in the title role.
And that's what matters, right? I mean, the only reason you teamed up with me again is so you could rekindle a romance with our leading man.
Aaron, when I signed up for this show, I had no idea Bobby was in it.
Really? Then how come at our first rehearsal did you walk right up to him and say,
Hi, Bobby.
Hi, sweetie. Well, it looks like we're all gonna be heading back to New York earlier than we thought. And if we're going back together, this is one flop that's a big hit with me.
En bien, mes enfants. A brief demonstration of what's been wrong with our show since its very first love song.
You mean thinking of him, Chris? This is one of my best songs in the show.
One of our best songs.
See, Georgia agrees with me.
Nonetheless, I've had a problem with it ever since our first day of rehearsal. Georgia, sing our leading lady's opening number.
Which song is this again?
The one with the new lyric that Georgia wrote about me?
About Rob Hood.
Precisely. Aaron, play. Georgia, sing. JoAnne, put her in line to Q5.
Light Q5.
Like Q5? Well, this is silly. I haven't sung on a stage in years.
Just sing.
Thinking of him, thinking of him. Sometimes it seems I spend every moment of my waking day thinking of him, making him laugh, sometimes making him strong, sometimes making him feel someplace in the light is his, telling him just how special he is, thinking of him, thinking of him, telling the truth when nobody's willing to tell him the truth, fighting for him, living for him, thinking it over, that's what I think I do. Well, isn't it time? Isn't it high time? I was thinking of me too.
Maybe it's time.
Maybe it's time. Maybe it's high time. You were thinking of you.
Thinking of me
Well done, Georgia.
Gee, I finally hear how the song's supposed to go.
Listen, Chris, if you say something's been wrong with that song since our first rehearsal, you'll have to tell me what.
It's that we ever allowed Jessica Cranshaw to sing it. Now, people, I think it's a damn shame our leading lady collapsed at tonight's performance. She may have done it weeks ago and saved us a month of misery. But the cavity Jessica has created must be appropriately filled.
May I speak?